Lamar Jackson,
yes,
welcome.
Sir. Appreciate you.
What is it that being a Louisville football player can provide that no other school can give?
The fan base. That's a great fan base, man. I love every bit of it being there. And our great basketball team. I feel like we got one of the best in the country. And we love going in the Yum Center and watching boys ball. So I love all about it.
When you think back to your time there, what's the first image that pops up?
Betty Johnson, the freshman dorm. Oh
Okay.
my God! Because when we was on our visits, they were showing us, I think Cardinal Town, like that's where all the upperclassmen were.
Okay.
And we thinking that's where we going. When we first get to school, they sent us to the freshman dorm right across the street, and it looked like prison. We no, this not what they showed us on the visit, man. So yeah, I remember Betty Johnson as like it's right there in my face, like I'm all over again, like my first day there.
It's a special town there, so
Yeah.
What is your pregame routine like going into a game there versus the NFL?
Well, we all had to wear the same. Well, Coach Bob Petrino, he always made us wear the same, uniform. So I didn't really have to switch any swag up or nothing like that. So I don't know. We just walked through, got a little car march right before the game.
Yeah. Band,
Pre-game.
fans going crazy.
Going crazy, cheerleaders cheering.
Yeah.
The fans, doing the touch on us. Yeah, let's go. We trying to get that victory for the home team, for the Cardinals. And the league is just like fashion when you're going. Like it's all about how you step. Approach to the game. Like you got to come look good, play good.
What advice would you give a young quarterback coming into the league? Because you started early, and it's different as a quarterback. You got 10 guys looking at you when you're still learning the playbook. So what advice would you give to make that transition smooth?
Man, just take your time. Try to learn that system as fast as possible because you'll never know. A guy might need to rely on you, and you might need to help that guy out. Your teammate, and just be you. Be you at all times. Don't let nobody get in your head. Don't let nobody try to use you because at the end of the day, it's business. So be all for yourself.
And how do you establish chemistry with the offensive line?
Man, it's like a brotherhood. Like we all love each other. We cherish one another, man, because you never know when another guy might come along, or you never know what'll happen. So I cherish my guys, no matter if they not starting or if they starting.
And what about your chemistry with your receivers and running backs?
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's the same. Like defense, offense, special teams, it don't matter. We all treat each other the same way.
I don't know how much college ball you watched this year, but is any quarterback out there that caught your eye?
Joe Burrow. He was nice. But really, all the quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts. I was in college with those guys, but Joe Burrow, I really didn't see him playing until this year, and he was just balling out of control. Like when he beat Bama. When his team beat Bama, it was like, man, he gonna win Heisman. Yeah. I already knew he was gonna win it. I knew he was gonna win the national championship. But when I thought about Clemson defense, I was like, I don't know, Venables do a great job.
Yeah, he does.
I played against him twice.
The NFL Combine's interesting. It's designed for you to fail. It's as much stress as possible, as much pressure as possible. How did you handle it?
Bro, listen. I don't know how I handled it. I don't know.
You still trying to figure out how you handled it?
Man, it was like we had to get up early in the morning. We had to weigh in.
Say how early, because I don't think people understand what
early
early
5
means.
o'clock in the morning.
Thank
early.
you, yeah.
5 o'clock in the morning early. It's not like a game. It felt like a game show, really. Because they're like, all right, you're going to do this and that. All right, then go. So I'm like, all right, like we warming up.
Right.
Like I airballed the throw. Like, that's not how I'm supposed to start it off. So yeah, man, it's like you got to be ready. You got to be prepared, but don't overthink it. Don't overthink nothing about it. Then, like you said, it's built for you to fail, so just be prepared.
And what was draft day like for you and the family?
At first, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
I had my green Gucci suit on. I'm feeling a little fly. But then I shot last in the draft. It was a blessing though. It was a blessing. I don't really look at it like it was bad or anything like that anymore. But I was hurt. I'm like, man, I gotta get picked last. I feel like I did a lot. My teammates helped me out a lot. We did a lot, and it is what it is. But I was grateful to be drafted.
And what about that transition? You go from the high of being one of the best college football players ever, and now you basically pressing the reset button. I'm nobody all over again. You know
what? I feel like it go by your organization, because when I got to the Ravens organization, they didn't treat me like that. They treated me like I was already there. So I appreciate every guy there, every guy who done last in my rookie season, whoever helped me out, through that stage. And it was pretty fun for me, my rookie season, not knowing I was gonna start, end up playing right away. Well, it wasn't right away, but that season, but it was pretty cool.
New playbook, new teammates, new coaches. How long till you felt comfortable and confident?
This year. It was a whole new terminology for me. It was a West Coast offense. We had Coach Marty Morningway. He was our coach at the time, our offensive coordinator. So I had to spit out these words. I'm like, man, I need a wristband. Just let me call off the wristband. I'll be better. So I gotta wait. Like we in OTAs and stuff like that. Ricky minicamp, they'll play. I gotta share a little bit of it. Coach, maybe get a little bit in my ear. So that was a hard transition for me. But as I went along, the weeks went along, I started catching on a little better.
What qualities does it take to have success as a young quarterback in the NFL?
Be humble. Keep God first. Always be about your teammates. Don't never feel like you're bigger than no one. I don't care what you did, what accolades you earned. Always feel like you one of your teammates, because that's what you are. And remember, you're a player, bigger than the player.
Was it strange going through the process of the whole world telling you you're one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time, and now some of those same people doubting your ability 2 months later?
It caught me off guard, because I'm like, I don't know where this came from. I don't know who I feel like somebody put it out there like they just didn't want me to succeed because I left college or something, but I don't really know. But at the same time, a lot of people came from college, went to the league, and they wasn't that good. They end up being bust and stuff like that. So I really didn't care, but I just knew I can't be no bust. Like, I can't let it, happen the way they saying it. I can't let them speak it into existence. Just be myself. Let the doubters talk. It's gonna always be doubters, no matter who you are. Cause Michael Jordan still had doubters. No matter how many championships he won, Tom Brady still had doubters. He won 6 of them. So I really don't care about the doubters, because they're gonna sit back and do what they do.
And what was it about Louisville that prepared you to ignore that doubt and just focus on you and your ability?
When we started off 0-3 my freshman season, I wasn't a starting quarterback, but I ended up starting the second game of the season. We lost. I got my starting spot took Kyle Bolin. He started Clemson game. Then I ended up starting the 4th game. Like, it was going back and forth, and then the fans were like, "Oh, what we doing?" So that doubt, our team was getting doubted right there, and then we just hit a little, we hit a hump. We started succeeding, having success that season. We finished strong. I think we were 9-4 at the end of the season, but we started off 0-3. So pretty much that's where it came from. But I always had doubters, even when I was a little kid playing. So it really ain't never mattered.
Speaking of you being a little kid, one thing that has been consistent from those high school viral videos that went around is you have more fun on the football field. You have more energy on the football field than I think any other player in the league right now. Where does that come from?
I feel like Mark Ingram have more energy than me.
Okay.
That person got more energy than me. But yeah, I don't know. I just love the game. This something I want to do all my life. I used to watch, my favorite player, Michael Vick and Reggie Bush. I used to watch those guys. I'm like, man, I can't wait to get to the NFL. I always had in my mind, I'm going to the NFL. No matter what happens, that's my goal. That's why I stayed out of trouble. My friends do bad stuff, I stayed away from them, because it's like, man, this how many years I got to get to the league? Nah, I'm good off that. I'm chill. I stay home and do what I'm supposed to do. So, man, it was great.
Is it an ironic feeling going from athletic quarterbacks having a negative stigma to now it's like a prized possession? Everybody wants one, everybody has to have one, and knowing
it's
you're
a new toy,
exactly, you're kind of at the forefront of that.
Man, it's not really me. It been started. They just trying to make it. It's a new decade, so they trying to make it about us, but it's not about us. It been started a long time ago. Those guys paved the way for us. Warren Moon, those guys, Doug Williams, those guys started it for us, paved the way for us. So we just try to handle up and own up to it, that's all.
The game of college football is changing rapidly. Is there any skill that you would need to have in today's game that you wouldn't maybe 5 years ago?
You gotta have more speed as a quarterback. These guys, the defensive linemen is a lot faster, I feel, than it was back in the days. Because I seen a lot of film guys had on bigger shoulder pads and stuff like that. Now those guys wearing smaller shoulder pads, and they light on their feet, and they can hurt you. Especially in the pocket, sometimes you gotta escape. I done seen Tom Brady escape this year, so you gotta be able to move. You gotta be mobile a little bit.